Hey, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Gilmore with the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. And this is your weekly weather briefing for Thursday, August 28th. Starting things off with key messages of what we can expect here for the next 5 to 7 days weather wise. We're entering a bit of an active summertime weather pattern here today through the upcoming weekend with an enhanced coverage of shower and storms expected each day. Main threats for each storm is going to be some localized flash flooding, but we can rule out also some dangerous cloud ground lightning as well with these. But then as we get towards the middle to later parts of next week, we'll be drying out and actually turning relatively comfortable with near seasonal temperatures returning back to the area with no excessive heat concerns all the way through the late parts of next week. And good news there is the tropics are quiet locally. And we'll go ahead and get started with that. Just the tropical weather outlook. That's from the National Hurricane Center showing that's a great picture we like to see. It's very quiet. We do have one wave we're going to have to watch coming off of the coast of Africa, but we got several days out in advance to keep an eye out for that. But again, generally speaking, it's going to be very quiet across the area, especially the local Gulf. But as a reminder, we are nearing the peak of hurricane season, so please stay updated with the latest forecast. Here's your 7 day threat outlook all the way through the middle parts of next week, showing you what types of hazards we can expect with the weather. With severe weather, we're not really seeing any types of substantial risk of these storms today through this weekend. However, can't rule out a few strong storms locally later this afternoon and evening. Flash flooding will be the concern mainly for these storms in the next several days, particularly Friday, where we have a more of an enhancement of the coverage of showers and storms that could lead to some flash flooding. And like I just mentioned with the heat indices, we're really not seeing any extreme heat problems. Temperatures going to be generally ranging in the lower to mid 90s for highs, which the heat indices are in probably the upper 90s to near 100 for the next several days, and really backs off next week, which we'll talk about that coming up. So, starting with the excessive rainfall outlook, this is generally for tonight, showcasing a threat level 1 out of 4, which is a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for the northern parts of the area due to a complex of thunderstorms toward northwest over northwest Louisiana. They'll be drifting southeast throughout the night. And to kind of break that down a little bit, what we're going to be showing you here is the 6 hour probability of precipitation starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon, 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon, through 8 p.m. this evening. Brighter colors are indicated of higher probabilities of seeing rainfall. And as you can see, you see those brighter colors over central and southern Mississippi, where some storms are actually already ongoing. But elsewhere, we're mostly going to be expecting isolated to scattered storms. You've already seen a few of them across Baton Rouge and Atchafalaya Basin, but those will be more hit or miss. The greater coverage and chance of seeing some storms this evening will be generally for the northeastern parts of the area from Macomb to Gulfport onto the northeast. But then as you see off towards our northwest, there's going to be a complex of storms which is already ongoing over Arkansas and northern Louisiana. That's going to be drifting southeast. So we're going to go ahead 6 more hours, 8 p.m. Thursday through 2 a.m. Friday. So this is the evening forecast. We see the rain chances still remain relatively elevated for the northern parts of the area, but we'll see more than likely a lot of this pop-up thunderstorm activity diminish when the sun sets. And then we're going to have to really keep an eye on this complex to the northwest drifting southeast, as confidence right now is not very high on how this cluster will maintain itself as it continues to drift southeast. Most model guidance continues to dissipate it as it moves towards the southeast overnight. However, we could still see some lingering showers and storms overnight. So some people could be waking up early morning on Friday with some rain across the area. It's just the question is going to be how much and what kind of coverage we're going to be seeing, how far south that complex might make it. Because as you get into early Friday morning, as you get towards your early Friday morning commute, you could have some wet roads across the area, especially the greater chances are going to be for the northern areas. And we get through the rest of Friday morning, we see those coverage chances really go up. We're talking about now 70, 80, 90, even 100% chance as we get up towards Macomb up to Jackson, where there will be some showers and storms across the area. And that coverage really shifts further south across the rest of the region, late Friday morning through Friday afternoon, even to Friday evening, where we'll see the better chance for showers and storms. Few of those could be dumping torrential rainfall that could lead to localized flooding. And here's your excessive rainfall outlook, which pretty much explains that risk that I just mentioned. It showcases that risk. Talking about the greater confidence of risk of flooding would generally be for that northern parts of the area. That's the northern Florida parishes and the southern Mississippi. But everywhere is under some type of formal risk for flash flooding, including a marginal risk for the South Shore and southern areas. That's a threat level 1 out of 4, where localized flash flooding could be possible. This will be from storms training over the same areas or just really slow moving storms in general, dumping very intense heavy rain rates that could lead to that flooding concern, again, during the day on Friday and through Friday night. And a little bit better perspective too, talking about rainfall totals. Rainfall totals are kind of difficult to really portray this time of the year because they really just varies depending on location where these storms form and train over the same areas. But as far as confidence goes, to the left is the greater confidence of 1 inch of rainfall or greater in 24 hours, ending Friday night. It's going to be for the northern areas. So we're talking about Hammond to Baton Rouge up to Macomb, Bogalusa. You have a greater chance of seeing greater than 1 inch of rain on the day during the day on Friday, and then 2 inches of rain that really kind of gets up towards southwest Mississippi. So again, rainfall totals are going to vary across the area, and there will be locally higher amounts depending on when those individual storms form. But the main key takeaway here is there is going to be a risk for flash flooding for a few areas for the next several days, so be weather aware. Looking beyond as we get towards the rest of the weekend and especially the early next week, we'll be seeing the rain chances continue, but really backs off. We'll get into Tuesday and Wednesday as we get a little bit of drier air filter in from the north, which will kick the rain chances out, which I'll show you that in a second. But as far as temperatures go, we're going to be getting closer back to normal. Highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, and even some lower humidity as we get towards the later parts of next week, possibly getting down to the 60 to 50% range, which will make it feel a lot more comfortable for the area. As far as rainfall goes, as I just mentioned, most of that rainfall chances will be kicking out towards the east as we get drier air filtering from the north, which will introduce a near normal chance or probability of rainfall coverage across the area. Generally expecting it to be dry through the rest of the middle to later parts of the week, but we may see an isolated shower or storm return, kind of that routine pop-up chance as we get towards Friday in the parts of next weekend. And with that, we'll end it there. We hope you have a great rest of your week and a great weekend ahead. Take care.